welcome back to my channel. I'm Maggie. Today I'm going to be sharing with you my Pan palette update. Also, I have no idea what's causing this weird glare from my window, so apologies for the weird lighting, but I'm excited. It is the beginning of August now, and we are moving right along. This year I am panning the Soft Glam 2 palette from ABH. I really love this palette. This has been kind of my go-to travel palette for a number of years, and I'm excited to use as much as I can up from the palette this year. So let's go ahead and start with showing some comparison footage of what it looked like last month, what it looks like now, and then I can talk about all of the usage, and then we'll talk about my companion palettes. So this is what my palette is currently looking like. Okay, so I don't have any new pans, but I'm getting pretty close on Dreamer. So let's start there. Tempera has been finished up for a while, but Dreamer here, I really only have product against this side of the pan now, which is very exciting. This has been my go-to lid shade every single day that I'm wearing makeup. So Dreamer, last month I had 90 uses, now I have 102, so I've used it 12 times this month. I don't wear makeup every single day, but like I said, when I am wearing makeup, this is pretty much what I'm reaching for on a day-to-day basis. I'm really motivated to finish up that last bit, and I think I can have it done in August as long as I just stay focused on using this as my lid shade. So then next to it is Orange Soda. Still no pan. I mean, there is definitely more of a dip in here than there was before. Last month I had 64 uses, now I have 77 uses, so that's 13 more uses in the past month, which is great. I am also consistently reaching in there. Dusty Rose at the end, I have worked to just expand the pan a little bit. I did wear it today, so I have Orange Soda in my crease and then also Dusty Rose in my crease. I swapped Dusty Rose for Incense today, just to add a little purple instead of brown today. Dusty Rose I used 3 times, so last month I had 47 uses, now I have 50 uses, so 3 more uses in Dusty Rose. I think I will start diving back into Dusty Rose a lot more come like late fall, winter, like thinking probably like November, December. I like to wear kind of rosier shades. So then moving into the second row, we have Incense here. This is the matte brown. I've been usually pairing this with Orange Soda, so I'll use Orange Soda in the crease first and then go in with Incense a little bit more fine-tuned in the crease to add some depth and on the outer third. This one has a little bit of a dip, but still a long way to go, to be honest. So I used Incense 11 times. Last month I have 62 uses, now I have 73. Sultry, I've used 12 times, and I do feel like I'm doing a good job expanding the pan on Sultry. I've been focusing on kind of getting my brush in the pan and pulling it in different directions when I pick up the product, and I'm happy with how that is growing. So Sultry I use on the outer third of my eye look. I just, kind of stamp a little bit on. I like how it pairs with Dreamer, so that's been really good. And I used Sultry 12 times. So last time I had 77 uses and now I have 89 uses in Sultry. Then we've got Mulberry and Noir, and I didn't use either of them in the past month. So Mulberry has 14 uses, Noir has 5 uses. Now I did already have pan on Noir when we started this, so that has been there. Those two are just not my, I don't know, they're just not shades I'm really drawn towards at the moment. I am very light-handed with my makeup too, so even if I do reach for them, I'm not picking up like a ton of product. So anyway, that's just where we're at. Maybe I'll use them a little bit more in the fall again, kind of more like cranberry looks with liners and stuff, but I'm not too worried about hitting pan on Mulberry. I probably won't at this point for this year. I'm just kind of more focused on finishing up Dreamer. I'd love to see pan and Orange Soda and Incense. So I think that's where most of my focus is going to be going for the fall, is really using those as my crease shades like every single time pretty much. So that, my friends, is the Soft Glam 2 update. So no new pans, but a good progress. Like I said, my main goal for the next month is going to be to try to finish up Dreamer, which I think will be a good thing because then my companion palettes can really shine a little bit more and I can use more of the lid shades. Speaking of companion palettes, I rolled 2 new palettes in last month, and they were actually both brand new to me in my collection. So the first one is the Nudes by Juvia's Place, and then I also have this Colourpop quad. It's called Sorbet. And I have reached for these a couple of times, not, you know, a ton because I'm trying to focus on Dreamer and those shades, but I have enjoyed it. So let's talk about the Nudes palette first. I feel like with this one, I had to get through like almost a little bit of a coating on top of the shades, maybe just that outermost pressed powder. But when I kind of broke through, I feel like they're getting softer and easier to use. So this is what it looks like. I mean, I've only reached in here a few times, so you're only going to see that. Yeah, I have reached in here a couple times. The only shade I haven't used yet is this darkest one down here. This is a matte shade. I actually think it would be really pretty in the crease, but because I'm using incense and focusing there, I haven't really tried it yet. But I've used all the other shades. So they don't have names. I've just numbered them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this first shade here, which is kind of like a peachy, shimmery gold, I've used it 3 times. This middle matte shade I've used twice. This shimmery gold at the end I've used once. Number 4 down here is kind of more of a pinkier peach, and this is more of like an orangey peach matte shade. This one I used twice, and then this center shade down here I used once, and then I haven't used this one at the end. So I'm liking this. I actually think that this will be kind of a good staple for me to have as Soft Glam will go away at the end of the year. These are just kind of some of my favorite shades, and I'm really excited to have something new and exciting that still meets that need for me. So this has been good. Like I said, if I can finish Dreamer up, then I definitely want to play with the shimmers in here more, but I don't really want to take away from Dreamer at the moment. And then as far as Colourpop goes, this is the little Sorbet quad. I mentioned it last month when I rolled it in that I probably wouldn't use the 2 matte shades down here because they are awfully similar to Dusty Rose and Mulberry from my ABH palette. And I still haven't touched them. I still believe that's true, but I have used the 2 shimmer shades. So I've used each of these 2 shimmer shades once. I actually have this one, the first one here, which is called Glazy. I have this one on my inner corner today, and I'm really liking it that way. So I might try to reach in here a little bit more to have some inner corner shades. I feel like Dreamer is just a little bit too deep to be an inner corner shade. So that's something I might be able to kind of incorporate to get a little bit more usage out of this. But I'm really liking this quad as well, and I'm excited to have it in my collection. So I would like to reach in here, you know, a little bit and maybe in here a couple of times, but my main focus is finishing up Dreamer, so I don't want to compete with any other shades really. So let's go into my pan percentage. I have not finished up any new pans, and I have not brought in any new pans. So we're actually at the same mark as we were last month, which is 17 pans out of 92 eyeshadows in my collection, which is 18.46%. So I'm really happy to be at 18%. I'm also happy to be under 100 eyeshadows. I think that is where I'd like to stay. My eyeshadow collection and makeup journey and all of that has significantly reduced over the years. I still like having variety in my collection, but I want it to be very manageable and something that I actually can reach for every palette, every year, like no big deal. So I think that 100 mark is where I'd like to stay under. I'm at 92, so technically I could get, you know, like 8 more eyeshadows and be fine. But I think that's where the sweet spot is for me, is that like 80 to 100 range. I'd love to hear from you where you feel like your eyeshadow range would be. Like, I feel like if I were to lose everything and start over and I could only have 100 eyeshadows, I could have a very nice collection with variety and different textures. Like, I think that's pretty good. So anyway, blabbing at this point. That's it for my Pan That Palette update. I will update you again in a month. Hopefully Dreamer will be done and we can move on to some new palettes. As far as companion palettes go, these 2 will be staying in this month. And then next month we'll be rolling out. So how I do it is every 2 months, I'm rotating through to a different companion palette or 2. And that way I can still, use every palette in my collection every year. And they're not just sitting to the side while I hyper-focus on one. So thank you so much for watching and tuning in today. I will see you in my next video. Bye.